Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A pastor at a Seventh-day Adventist church says churches are doing more than imagine to help people, particularly wayward youth, to get out of a life of crime and poverty and to make successes of themselves. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
One Seventh-day Adventist pastor has made it clear that he is not all talk and that he plays an active role in reaching out to the youth and downtrodden to help them better their lives. Pastor Quigley Morris sat with Hot 7 TV and said that the church must do more than just preach, and this is something in which he plays an active role. The pastor said, firstly, the concept of churches making large amounts of money in St. Lucia is a myth. He said currently they are making do with the little that they have.
A lot of people today are not postmoderns, are not supportive of church like the moderns. There is many different point of views about church. So the giving is not as good as it used to be. In fact, if you ask most church denominations in this country, they probably are just surviving. So from a financial point of view, there is not excess or a lot of money that is being collected in the churches. It's very poor today.
Pastor Quigley went on to say that even with the little that they do have, they still reach out to the communities to help out as much as they can. He said they help out in many ways, ranging from rent payment to hospital bills. However, he said there is a special outreach to the youth.
What is more important is not giving a man a fish every day, but teaching them to fish. So we encourage them to get training, go to school. I always ask, did you complete high school? You not go to the ministry, go ask questions, go and find out, go do your classes over and let me know what is needed, what is required. We may not be able to finance you a full year, but we can help you put your foot in the door. You know, go do something for yourself. Unless you stand up and ask questions for yourself, unless you start moving, and that's what I say to them, you never know what's available to you. So I'm a big promoter of that. Let us work together. The church must contribute. The church must give back, and all of our churches are giving back.
Pastor Morris said he also often extends his counseling to young mothers. He said he empowers them and reminds them that having a baby at a young age is not the end of life. In fact, it is just a bump in the road that they can get over by working a little harder than usual.
I always say to them, my vehicle is parked there. I cannot take it around a corner, I can't go around a pothole, I can't do nothing with it because it's parked. But when it's running, I can go fast, I can go slow, I can go around a corner, I can get away from a pothole. If you are remain seated, if you are seated every day of your life, my friend, you'll be a beggar now, and 4 years later, you'll be a beggar. But stand up and start running. 4 years later, you'll not be here. You'll be somewhere else. I like talking to young people. I have a passion for young people because I know it's not easy.
Pastor Morris implored other churches to step up their efforts in helping the nation's youth in a hands-on manner. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
A bomb scare causes one woman to faint. Her daughter speaks out, calling on the powers that be to take action to track down and prosecute perpetrators of such pranks.
Yet another bomb scare has been called in the center of Castries, and whilst the masses roll their eyes and say, here we go again, we have a group of people, well, mainly students, over 1,000 of them to be precise, from the Ave Maria Girls' School, both infant and primary, who are suffering, and the teachers are not happy about it. The principal of the primary school, Valerie St. Helen Henry, said she had been inundated with calls from concerned parents. The students, she said, are the ones being dealt the worst blow when these calls are made.
The girls need water because we evacuated them. They're not supposed to grab anything. They are thirsty, they are hungry. We are not hearing anything from the police to indicate that we will be informed that, okay, in the next few minutes we can return. We have a staff member who has fainted. We have a student that was taken to the hospital. She was fainted. There are children who suffer from anxiety attacks. We had to deal with that. And I can tell you, we have to be sharing water, pouring water from one child to the next. This is not right.
St. Helen Henry said come Monday the 25th of November, she will be calling a meeting with the school's PTA board as she believes this matter is in need of addressing as soon as possible. Also showing concern was safety coordinators from both the primary and the infant school.
We feel that this is becoming the norm on a Thursday or every few Thursdays that a bomb threat is called in and we are taken out of school with the children, and I mean with no care for the safety of these children.
And for me, the biggest thing is the psychological effect on the students. If you are to look at their faces, there is concern. They are seeing adults crumbling under the pressure. They themselves are getting sick. They are hungry. And I don't think for the children psychologically they should be faced with that repeatedly.
Meanwhile, Hot 7 News spoke to the daughter of the woman who, as was mentioned by St. Helen Henry, fainted during the incident. Tamara James said her mother, who is a cook at the school, said the matter took its toll on her mother's health. She said there are serious consequences to such calls.
In the rush to come here, obviously, my mom, who is hypertensive and has, she's hypertensive, so she, I guess because of all the adrenaline and all of this, she ended up passing out. And the ambulance was here to check her out. Her pressure is high, her sugar is high. However, she does not want to go to the hospital, but she'll be okay. But again, I mean, with that courthouse being next to the school, how often are we going to go through this? This is our second time being here because of the courthouse. This is not a safe thing for our girls.
Fortunately for all involved, whilst we were still at the Mindu Phillip Park, the school received the all clear and the students were then allowed to return to their classes. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
For those who know of the tale of the boy who cried wolf, you will know that after several hoaxes, the villagers stopped believing in the cries of the boy, and this sealed his fate. Well, one former traffic police officer is suggesting that the authorities and the masses take the same route as the villagers and ignore the constant alarms raised over bomb scares. Leontius Joseph was speaking in relation to the first of two bomb scares which once again crippled the city of Castries on Thursday. Joseph says it is obvious that the calls are made out of pure mischief and to stall high court proceedings.
You know, we have to sometimes really try to ignore these things because these guys are just getting away with this foolishness. Every time just saying there's a bomb scare and then they know very well everything is going to be interrupted. I mean, while it's true that we don't take chances because you can never tell when reality hits, there may be a bomb scare for real, but I don't believe that honestly we have reached that stage yet, and I believe some of these hoaxes should really be ignored and let society, let the wheels of progress continue and sometimes disregard this hoaxes and put in a setback on the day-to-day operations of the state.
Joseph says while it might sound like bad advice to ignore the calls, one must weigh out the facts and face reality.
While I understand the authorities have to take preventative action when there is a report of a bomb scare, but the reality is it really retards the entire progress of the nation because, for example, you know, persons who are at work and within the immediate surroundings, you have to evacuate persons, you know, children go to school, people have to go to work. I mean, everything comes to a standstill because of a bomb scare.
In the end, only authorities can have the final say. The Entrepot Secondary School is back up and running with efforts being made to ensure that it stays that way. The school was one of 3 institutions that had to be shut down to facilitate rehabilitation works and mold remediation. According to the District 3 Education Officer, a steady course is being maintained to ensure a sense of normalcy returns to the school.
Well, today, teachers are at work. Students are in their classrooms following instruction, and there is instruction and supervision going on at the Entrepot Secondary School today, so that, you know, the term is coming to an end and all stakeholders are very, very committed to doing whatever it takes for the betterment and the interests of the students and children and, of course, the staff who are affected by such situations.
The situation at the school came to a head on the 4th of November when teachers abandoned classes, forcing the Ministry of Education to issue an immediate statement on the closure of the 3 institutions, citing a lack of supervision as the reason for the closure. Meanwhile, the Deputy U.S. Permanent Representative to the Organization of American States has expressed concern about the decision of the Dominica government to hold elections without implementing electoral reforms. The U.S. diplomat lamented the fact that few of the recommendations that have been made by the many OAS electoral observer missions that have been sent to Dominica over the years have been implemented, and highlighted the joint special mission by CARICOM, the Commonwealth, and the OAS to Dominica last August. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.